Good morning. Right, let me see. Turn this on. All right, y'all. I'm gonna pull chat up. Oh, let me switch my picture for work. Hey, German Lady Doodle, Mystic. Yeah, what do you think about that? Ah, there goes my picture. I swear. Hey, CCK. Cheyenne. We had a good meeting last night. If you're not hey Dory, if you're not a member, you should be. Just Stephanie, how are you? Hey, Gentleman Jack. Hey, Olivia. Let me switch this picture again. Hey, Eric. Hey, Karma. Love you too, Eric. Stitching Girl. Minnie Manson. Yeah, I hated to use the real one, but I didn't have time to Google a Minnie Manson. Hey, Lavina. Yeah, it is. It's chilly this morning. Oh, you need to make your pick your thumbnail. I think you're right, to be honest with you. Olivia, I very much enjoyed it. Hey, Samara, Charlie girl, good morning. Yeah, we had a little fog this morning too. I don't know if I could switch or not. I've got you. Let's see. Oh no, don't do that, Randy. Don't do that. I'll mess it up in the middle. So last night, because Science Girl had people on panel, Marissa wilds out and brings back tacos. Like if you're I'm on top chat. If hey Lanky, it's good to see you. If you're gonna get somebody to hey Diamond Cutter. My trip? What trip? No, my floating? Yeah. Well, good morning, Michelle. So if you're gonna get somebody hey two of a kind, if you're gonna get someone that's gonna back up your story, who are you gonna get? Always two tacos. You know, the girl that faked a divorce. Don't mind me and my bush. She faked a divorce. She faked a an unalive. She came on here and acted a complete fool when one of our own passed away. But they are tore up because Diamond Cutter sleeps naked. Big freaking deal. Sometimes I sleep naked. What is the big deal? They have tried, yeah, mail drugs to several people several times. But hey, all that is erased because she will do what did she say? I'll say anything you want me to say. We know, girl. We know. We know. So you and Jen both will say anything anybody on here wants you to say. Michelle, you sounded so much better yesterday. I'm glad you got some rest. A whole ass pay to play, and that's offensive. Right. Right. I love you too, CCK. Hey, Charlie girl. It. I couldn't believe my ears. It was on Social Fate, and then so you had look. This is what I love, Diamond Cutter. You're welcome, sweet. Diamond Cutter, you had her so bothered that she had an 8-hour stream. Oh, Sloppy Molly and Jaundice Boy thought it was so fun. Right. Big deal. Yeah, I knew they weren't broken up. Right. How am I going to get a piano? I know. I'm going to give blowjobs. But Barnyard sleeps naked, so, I sleep naked most of the time. And, right. I don't most of the time because I get cold, but when I have a hot flash, I just whoop it out. Who cares? Who cares? We're getting older. Who gives a shit? Hey, Hooker. Right. So let's see. Diamond Cutter sleeps under her covers, and she may uncover. We know now. And that is in the privacy of a bed. Marissa can whoop her bullets out on a live stream. Hey, just Rebecca. And which one's classy? Let's go. Let's pick. Let's go by class. Who has the most class? Someone that just whooped them out. And you've always wanted to see them. You've always wanted to see them. So here they are. This coming from a woman who flashed her boobs to the world. Right? But I'm going to prove she slept. She slept naked. We saw it. We saw her bush. I think Cutter Brothers, her most good. What? Why would you revive tacos? Nobody better not put batteries in tacos. I'm telling you right now. Tacos, just make a video. I showed my husband. He was just, I did not show my husband because my husband, hard line right there. And hey, Monica. And why does your man, Marilyn Manson, look like one of time is cruel. Cruel. That's, yeah. Y'all know I love Marilyn Manson. I love him. But no, I don't like a female that looks like him. Nobody pressed her buzzer. Right. There's Marissa pressing her buzzer. I got under that scaly skin of hers. I was in my bed by myself. That's right. Oh, I swear. Let's listen to Social Fade's video. Let's do it together. Listen to Jen and Tacos. Just living it up, living their, hey, Quinn. We missed you too. Just living their best life, during their divorce and split up and heartbreak and, all the things that they've got on here and said. And they hate each other. And yeah, you're a disgusting pig. You're a pig, Tacos. You make me sick.
So wait, I hate to wake her up at fucking 2:39. Oh, it's 1:39. She's probably still awake. Hey, Jen? It's Monica Larry. Oh my god. Hey, how are you? I hate to wake you up, but I need you to settle a fucking argument with me, and you're the only fucking witness. Do you remember?
Right, teacher mom. That was the tale they told. That's their tale. I said on mine. Liars.
The night that you guys got married and you came into my room and woke me up and said, Maurice, do you need to sleep and take the other bed?
Yeah, the night that they got married, where Tacos, hey Sammy, begged for a link to come on Diane's channel to out Marissa, said she could barely perform the wedding. She was so high, she couldn't talk. She stole pills, blah, 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 blah. But now, hey, they're so excited that Marissa called them.
And remember, because Barnyard was snoring. And you said, look at her, Barnyard. Was she not buck-ass naked with her bush open? Yes, completely. She's denying it. She's denying that she was naked. And that her bush was showing. No, she was naked that whole time. She said, this is Molly Lily. She was naked the whole time she was laying in bed. She was settling an argument about Barnyard lying about being naked at her wedding, sleeping. When she was sleeping. Marissa. Yes, when she was sleeping, she was completely butt-ass naked. We all saw it. We all saw it. She's lying about Marissa, saying that wasn't true. She's lying about her. She's saying that she paid for everything.
So you're in bed asleep. You're going to answer the phone and go into a whole conversation. Not this girl. You best not wake me up.
She said she paid for everything, Kim. What the fuck? What did she pay for? She basically said that she paid for fucking everything. And that, I don't know.
No, she didn't. She said she paid for all of her stuff. And I guarantee you that Barnyard had to pay for quite a bit of Jen and Taco's stuff. I will guarantee you that between Marissa and Barnyard, Jen and Tacos didn't spend any money.
Wow. We had a falling out with her, too. Yeah, a while back. She was saying all kinds of shit about us.
Yeah, why did y'all have a falling out, Tacos? Why? Why don't you come live and tell everybody, Tacos, why you and Barnyard had a falling out, you scum?
Platform. Well, she's all buddy-buddy. She's all buddy-buddy with Alicia, dirty-ass Alicia. And she's buddy-buddy with Alicia. Yeah.
So what?
That's where she gets it, because the lying is contagious.
Let's be clear. Why do they care if I grow it to the floor and braid it and wrap it around my legs? That's right. Amen. But here's what. Now Alicia's dirty. But remember when Marissa was her best friend. But now she's dirty? Okay.
Oh my God. They booted Tina out completely, all those bitches. And,
why did we boot Tina out, Jen? Why? Why did us bitches boot Tina out, bitch?
Horrible. I'd be willing to say whatever you want me to say, because I know for a fact I'd be willing to say
lean in.
Whatever you want me to say, because I know for a fact sorry, girl, that was my troll. That was my troll name for her. Well, guys, you said the bitch over there. So listen to this shit. So she's got Jen and Tacos on the phone. She said that I was over here saying that I was denying sleeping naked. Did I ever deny being naked in bed? No. I've never denied sleeping naked. That's my fucking business. I've been sleeping naked. It ain't nobody's fucking business.
In fact, it makes me a little bit giddy that you sleep naked. Hey, Nanya. Hey, Prickly Pear. Good morning. Taco faked unaliving herself. She can F off. Absolutely. Triggered an entire community. So let's just Remy recap it, okay? She faked trying to hang herself. Then Jen comes on and says, yeah, Taco's tried to kill herself and I cut her down and I did CPR. And then we heard them both talking on the video. Right? Yeah. Because it was all a lie. Then they fake divorced. Rainy, so you're saying there's a chance? Absolutely. I have that video of MGL struggling to speak and read. She's lucky I don't roll like that. Well, I don't usually roll like that, but if you, slide the video, I might roll that way. Well, I don't know. The thing is you wouldn't have it, Diamond Cup. Well, no, you were there. Right, you were there. And they done a whole ass interview going against Marissa. Nanya, it wasn't on live, but hey, Michelle Porter, good to see you. Jen goes live on Taco's channel one morning and she's like, yeah, Tina tried to hurt herself and I done CPR. And this was right off the, not long before the Von McCrae stuff. So we already, anybody that knows, if you try to unalive yourself by hanging, I don't know what I can and can't say. There's no, it's not going to work. There's no coming back. It's done with the Shells College at Slap Amanda. Oh. I'm sure it's how they, Of course, Rebecca, we're the drama community. That's how we all get our content. But it's the fact that you're so desperate. Let me tell you something. You're so desperate that you call the biggest liar that we've seen as of late. Why would they have to wake Molly up to switch rooms because Barnyard was snoring? If Molly was asleep, the snoring wasn't keeping you up. Molly, you lying ass piece of shit. Look, right. Oh, we'd be willing to say anything you want us to say. We'd be willing to say anything you want us to say. We know tacos. Some are more unbiased or are funnier than those, like this channel. Oh, thank you, just Rebecca. Thank you. Why was anyone sharing a room on their wedding night? That is the real question. They really don't think anything through, do they? They don't think anything through. Nothing. You know what? Everybody's mad at me, so I'm going to pretend to hurt myself, and you go and you tell them, okay? Okay. Hey, I need somebody to lie for me. I know who will do it. Tacos. That's who will do it. Yeah. And I can't believe the unfolding that just keeps happening on the tubes here. And I can't believe that Marissa, somebody with that damn many subscribers, gives a shit what anybody thinks, but she gives big shits. Let me tell you. I'm not going to talk about Michelle anymore, talks about Michelle. I'm not going to talk about Barnyard anymore, talks about Barnyard. And I like tacos in Batman Returns. That's right. I could not think of what the penguin. Other than that, not a fan. You get a bush. You get a bush. Everyone gets a bush. I don't know. I prefer a landing strip or hardwood floors. But to each their own preference. Darn Barnyard didn't think that they were going to be peeping her out. I'm sure she didn't think that she was going to be stared at while she tried to sleep. It's because she's a fourth grader in a giant body. Toodles lots of hot dogs. Yes, I recorded it. It's in my computer. It was so uncomfortable standing there waiting on Sloppy to decipher Tina, do you tacos? It mean tamales, etc. I bust out laughing and MGL got mad. Oh, 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 oh. Okay. Grab a Bible and holy water. Put an exorcist on retainer. This place gets scary. Yes, yes. Would it be wrong to protest to MGLs with laundry baskets, her own mugshots, bullhorns, and size? Asking Kate, where's the piano money? I live in Pennsylvania. Give her what she gave it for that. Oh, but you know what? She would love it. That's the thing, Hook, is any attention is good for her. She absolutely makes me puke in my mouth every time I hear her voice. Swear. Like, not for nothing, Randy, but you're stupid. Am I? Am I the one calling tacos at 2:00 in the morning to prove that Barnyard sleeps without clothes? That's not me. That's you. Hi, Lacey. How's that baby? I don't even know what to say. I think that, I just wanted to, it took what seemed like 30 minutes to spit out what normally takes 10 minutes at most. And that's the story they told Diamond Cutter up there. But now, because course you can have a link. There you go. That's what she said. And we're off. Randy's chat goes in that direction just about every time. I just think everyone's lucky it wasn't Marissa sleeping naked. Well, now we know what we're working with. Bullets. The missile tits. Right. Taco said she'll say anything MGL wants. Right.
Hey.
Hi, I was hoping that you would be naked.
I know. If I wasn't driving to my mom's, I would. But hell, I ought to go ahead and just get naked and drive. Yeah, they were. I was thinking, well, on the original on Marissa's live, they were saying that. I didn't finish watching all of it, but somebody was telling me that she said, well, I heard Marissa say, I hope the clip channels are clipping this. She was spun out, man. And I went in under my husband. I went and got his work phone, and I went on his account, and I changed his name to you freaking idiot or something like that, because she got me blocked. So I went in there and I wrote, while she was asking Tucker that, I went in there and I said, I've never denied. I can't remember what all I said. But anyway, I said, you're lying. I said that I haven't said that. I mean, I have never denied sleeping naked. So I said, when she started saying, oh, the clip channels are getting that, I left and I went back over to Alicia's. I said, can you drop a link? And it was under that you freaking idiot account. And she's like, who the hell? Alicia's like, who the hell is that? And I said, oh shit, that's me. That was my troll account. So while I was over there with Alicia, damn MGL and them were saying apparently somebody, they come in there and took the covers off of me. They had to pull the covers back to say that I didn't, to say my bush and to say I was naked. You know what I mean? Hell, I might have been violated and didn't know it. But somebody said that there's pictures. And I said, oh, well, she better, isn't that called revenge porn or something like that? I mean, they took pictures of me without me knowing it. First of all, what is Taco's wife doing coming in there and getting Marissa out of the room that we're sharing on their wedding night, coming to get Marissa? I mean, that didn't even make sense to start with. You know what I mean? I mean, they brought a big old 2-foot black dildo strap on, and they were in there beating the hell out of each other. The first night, maybe that's why they wanted sloppy Molly over there in their room. I don't know, but I got up and left the next morning. So, and I wasn't sore. I was able to walk. So apparently they didn't mess with me. But
if they said they took pictures, yeah, they're not. That's not legal. They can't do that without consent.
Right. That's what they said. They said that there's pictures, and I said, well, they better hope that I don't, see. But yeah, I thought to myself that really looks like a life coach up there hollering. I hope the clip channels are getting this. Well, the Kool-Aid channel couldn't get it, Marissa, because you struck them and they lost their channel. So somebody that doesn't care about clip channels, you sure mind you strike her. You always say they're making you money,
Wow.
But yeah, for the wedding, tacos. See, I got ordained first before Marissa did, and whenever I told tacos, I said, I got ordained. I said, if you want me to perform the ceremony, I have no problem doing it. And she's like, oh my God. Well, then her girlfriend said that she really was, wish Marissa would do it. And I said, well, that's fine. So I called Marissa up, and Marissa says, how do I do it? And I said, just like I did. So I told her where I went. So Marissa got ordained. And so Tacos had emailed me a robe, and it was a crazy robe. It looked like one of those that you see at Halloween that has a big collar on it, and it was a weird robe, real colorful. And she said, I wish Marissa would wear that. Well, before I left home, I went and bought a robe like that, and the wig that come with it. And I forgot it whenever I got on the plane. So I had my Uber take me by Party City on the way to the hotel, because they got there a couple hours before I did. and I had an Uber take me by Party City, and I bought a whole another one, so Marissa could wear it, So, I mean, I paid my own way. I never said I paid for everything, you know what I mean? But I bought breakfast for all of us and had it delivered to the I mean, I didn't go in there. I mean, I didn't, nobody bought my plane ticket or nothing, you know what I mean? I freaking carried my own way. But, yeah, I couldn't believe that Marissa just like making up shit, man. I'm like, where in the world? I mean, just goes to show you that she just grasping at straws, I guess.
Well, for somebody that really can't remember that night.
Yeah, absolutely. And she was like, she was messed. And that was the weekend that happened was the weekend that Laura accidentally left the camera on when Makeup Monster was getting out of the shower. So that had happened the day, when we first got there. But yeah, Marissa's just like, well, Randy, one of the first things that me and her had a falling out over, I had already dropped out of her Patreon 4 months prior to this event I think to tell you about happening. I had quit being in her Patreon. I just quit, I was paying $20 a month membership and then $50. I was like $75 a damn month just to, be her friend. And so, but she told me, we stayed cordial. We didn't, really talk like we used to. Well, we both were mods in Mallory's chat, and she had went to Florida the first time, and made a fool of herself. Well, Mallory went live, and she was hilarious. She was talking about, Molly wasting her breath because all the houses she lives there. She said, "I live here. All the houses here are made out of cinder blocks and rebar. They can't nobody hear her out there screaming." Well, Marissa comes in to the chat, and I wasn't watching. I was doing some painting, and she starts telling Mallory she's thirsty as fuck and shit like that. So I roll over to my desk, and I see Marissa in there doing it, and she starts timing people out. And I said, hey, stop doing that. Stop doing it. Well, she calls me up, and we get into it. And then she accuses me, and I'm going to tell you something. If I had a way to, I've got what she sent me, but I know what I did and what I haven't done. And there's no doubt in my mind that, because, she advertised that you get, 30-minute or whatever life coaching for the Patreon. I never used it for that or anything like that. But so the name on my debit card that was on my Patreon is not the name that I go by. That's my, it's not the name that people call me. And if anybody calls me by that name, I know that they don't know me very well. You know what I mean? That's not what anybody calls me in my normal everyday life. So when Marissa was pissed off at me for, telling her to quit acting like that with Mallory, she said, I want to ask you. So she starts questioning me, asking me if I'd ever, and I didn't know anything about what she was talking about. I'd never heard of this. But she said, did you try to hire me as your life coach when you joined my Patreon? And I said, no, I've never tried to hire a life coach at all. And she said, think about what you're saying before you say it, because I've got something to show you. And I said, I don't have to think about it. I know what I've done and what I haven't done, and no, I haven't. So she says, well, I'm fixing to send you something. So she sends me a screenshot of an email, her email from, but before she sent that to me, she said, so you never went through one of my life coaching apps and tried to retain me as a life coach. And I said, what app? I didn't even know what she was talking about. Never heard of it. I didn't know there was apps. I didn't know nothing about it. And I said, I don't know what you're talking about. Well, she sends me a screenshot, and it's her email where an email was sent to this life coaching app. Pars, the name of that company is on there. And it's got my name, and it says client number, so-and-so, and it's got Betty, my last name. Not the name that I go, my last, that's not what I go by. And, and that it didn't go through. And I said, Marissa, I don't know how to explain that. I know that looks weird, but I'm telling you, I have never even thought about hiring a life coach. And, if I had been, I was so taken back, Randy, if I'd been thinking, I would have said, and why did I have to hire one? Hell, aren't I supposed to get free life coaching sessions, in the Patreon? But I was so, taken back, I didn't think about it. So after I got the phone, I was talking to my husband about it. And I said, it really stressed me out. So the only thing I can figure out, because I know, what I've done and what I haven't done. There's no doubt in my mind that she didn't go through those apps, because after that, I kind of made nice and tried to find out a little conversation from her about, because she didn't remember. And I said, how do those work? Well, these people call her. It's like a third party. They go through the app and then they call her. Well, if she has a choice, she says, to accept them as a client or not accept them after she like asks a few questions. And if she does, then she just bills them through the life coaching. I think what she was doing was taking her Patreon name and going through those life coaching apps and billing them for her money that she's giving away free every month to her Patreons.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm trying to double dip because that's the only thing that makes sense. I know that company, the life coaching app that she sent it, I've never even heard of them. I didn't even know there was an app like that. Didn't know anything about it. That's the only thing that makes sense because my name was in there, my name that was on my card through Patreon, not the name that she ever called me or that anybody, that anybody that knows me would know. So it was a name that come off my card, and I know as long as I'm sitting here in this car, that's what she done. I just hadn't proved it. But yeah, she's got me messed up with somebody else if she thinks I'm gonna sit back and let. So I said, well, I don't appreciate you calling me acting like I'm lying. And she said, well, you are. And I said, don't call me a liar, Marissa. And she said, well, I am. And I said, bitch, I hung up. And it was several weeks before we talked again. But she don't want to mess with me too much. First of all, I got a video showing her she looks like a damn ding-a-ling, and she don't know how to speak. And I could, if I want to push it, I'm sure I could do a little, put my old Sherlick and Twatson hat on and get busy trying to do a little investigate. Because that's the only thing that.
I'd say that, yeah, well, she was probably also, trying to build her reputation as a life coach. And, yeah, that's.
Yeah. Yeah. And, the way she's looking at it, she's giving she's getting money for it, but she's giving her Patreons a free 30 minutes. You get a 30 minutes a month or whatever free. So I think she was trying to recoup that free 30 minutes and probably billing, if you want to know the truth of it, probably all of her Patreon's names. She probably put all of them through there. That's what I think, because I know what I know, and I know I've never done that. And for them to have my name, there's no way they would have had my name unless she gave it to them. Because I damn sure, I wouldn't even know where to go about finding an app that did that. You know what I mean?
Right.
But, she wants to sit over there and say that she's throwing Michelle to all of us, and, shame on us for not showing Michelle, the drama community, not showing Michelle how to set her monetization up and all that stuff. Well, Michelle hadn't asked anybody to start with. And second of all, she ain't screwed Michelle to nobody because she's just as much part of this drama community as anybody else. I mean, who does she think she's kidding?
Oh, she loves doing drama more than she loves doing true crime. And now she has a big drama following,
Oh, yeah.
We see you, we see Marissa over here trying to get back, and she knows that she's going to dangle stuff and we're going to pick it up. But that's just
yeah.
Hey, Telly girl.
Yeah, she keeps saying, if Diane and Randy won't touch Michelle, then right there that there's something wrong because they won't even touch her. They won't, just so ugly and derogatory about the way she talks about people, and she's ridiculous. And she's got all those, I guess all those new followers fooled, man. They are like hardcore. They're hardcore for her. I know that much about. But I was telling Alicia and that Taya Simone girl last night. I said, what I don't get, because when I was friends with her, and she would say and do stupid crap, I didn't think to myself, okay, all right. Now that's, you know what I mean? I don't know if I would have little conversations with myself because I know right from wrong. And when somebody does right from, whether I'm friends with them or not, if you're doing wrong, I'm still going to know it's wrong. Just because we're friends is not going to change that any. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So how can they consciously sit there and, when she goes off and Justin, he's sitting there laughing his butt off last night. He is like one snap of the finger or one snap of the breadstick from being done just like he has watched her do everybody else. If he thinks he's above that, but he just got a rude awakening coming.
Oh, I think he's in for a big rude awakening. That's exactly what he's gonna get it. It's coming soon.
Oh yeah, he's gonna get it. Well, that Robin Millette, the lady that's doing her booking her clients, her Patreons, uh, that she's already had it one time. You know, that's that lady from Florida. Marissa was buying her groceries and White Claws and stuff, and she timed out some people one night when she had a wrench, and she denied doing it anyway. Marissa made a spectacle out of her, and they all sang "We Are the World." There was like 9 people on panel, and that Robin lady was saying, "Well, I didn't do it. I didn't do it. I'm telling you, I didn't do it." And they all started singing "We Are the World," and she was like begging them not to, and she was crying. And girl, they kept right on doing it. That lady almost had a nervous breakdown, and so they didn't talk for a month or so, and then they made good again. I just feel sorry for the lady, but she's a glutton for punishment, I guess. But yeah, Justin, I mean, he sees how she's doing everybody else, you know, with a snap of the fingers. And she said last night, you know, she doxed that lady's house and put it on that video for over a week. And she said, and I don't want to hear that I doxed. She said, that video's been taken down for a week at least. Well, it was up for a week and a half or 2 weeks. You know what I mean? You shouldn't have put that lady's house up there. She's something else.
I don't know, but I do. You know what? I remember. Yes, I remember her up there crying. I remember that.
Well, as a matter of fact, whenever she had, when she was doing her BBC calls, I guess she was mad at Robin again. But Robin texted her, and Marissa called her out, and she said, "Well, Robin, are you not going to admit that you sent me a text to tell me I need to find you a black?" And she said the words, and she kept talking, and she said, "As a matter of fact, let me remind everybody of how you have meltdowns." And she played that video again of Robin sitting there crying and begging them not to do it. I mean, she don't care, girl. She don't mind embarrassing you and putting you on the, you know, humiliating you. She that doesn't, and she laughs about it. I mean, she's heartless, man. It's like it's went to her head. I don't know what's going on with her, but she is an embarrassment.
Oh yeah. That's what she never could understand why I didn't want to be in her little club. You know, I never would fuck with her. And but that's why. Like I have a limit to where I'll go, you know. I mean, yeah, it's drama, but there's no sense in ruining someone's self-esteem.
Absolutely. You know, I mean that. You know, you can be kind. You don't have to be ugly and rude. And she's something else, man. She is capital rude. You know, or with the rude, she ought to be ashamed of herself, but she's not. She's not one bit ashamed of herself. But I guess that Tia Simone was telling us last night that Miss Letitia, I guess she's always supported her. Like, you know, this Tia lady has always supported her. And she said that, I don't know what happened, but last week or week before that, Miss Letitia come in her chat. And they ended up, like, chatting. She said, I've never talked to her, but she's come in one of my lives several times. And so they chatted back and forth. And Marissa lost her crap. They said Marissa really got upset about it. Mm-hmm. So, hey, Michelle, I told her I was so proud of her yesterday. She looked so peaceful, and didn't she look like a different and sound like a different person? I was very proud of her.
Absolutely, yes. I was worried. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I'm in some Facebook groups, but I just lurk mostly. And I've seen Letitia. I've seen Miss Letitia go off in the groups, and you know, sometime I'm going to come out and give my opinion about Dre, because I think Dre's been done wrong in all this, and that's just my opinion.
Absolutely.
I'm allowed to think it. I'm allowed to, yeah.
Absolutely, you are. She's lucky that woman ain't sued her, but because I'm going to tell you something. I think I would have, if there was any grounds, I would sue her and her ass after the stuff they put that woman through. I mean, there ain't no sense in talking about her like that. I mean, obviously the police didn't think it was an issue. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm almost Team Dre.
Huh?
I said I'm almost Team Dre. Because I'm kind of weird. I think we're all weird, but I don't think that Dre did anything to Vaughn. I mean, maybe she pressured him. Maybe she did some things to make him upset. But Dre didn't deserve anything. She deserved nothing that that, and I'm trying not to get into it with her name, but I don't think that anything that happened to Dre, should have happened to
No.
her. I
Well,
think it was awful.
if the police deem it necessary, then.
Well, and
camera
I can find the screenshot where I'll have to go look for it, but I'm sure I can find it because Letitia said, I never asked for anything. Her first post about this was a GoFundMe.
Mm-hmm. And I don't know what the other lady, Miss Wynette or whatever her name is, Rockalot showed text messages from, I think, those groups where she had Marissa figured out like just a couple of days in. She wasn't even wanting to return her phone calls. There's text messages between her and some girl, Erica, I think, that's in that Facebook group. But yeah, she I think they have. And then she kept saying, I can't monetize these videos. I'm not making any money. Okay, well, yeah, she was making money just because she wasn't getting monetization. Somehow they up under that it was showing money on Social Blade or somewhere. It was showing that she was getting money for those videos. So I don't know.
Yeah, I need some help with that. I don't know what I did wrong, but when I was making all those sock accounts, because Marissa was pissing me off, I keep getting kicked back by AdSense, and it's saying that I have more than one account through AdSense, because I've got. By the way, I hit 2 days ago my 3,000 subs. I'm at like 3,100 something subs already, and I've got like over 53,000 viewing hours. So I should be monetized, but I keep getting kicked back by AdSense because it says I have more than one account through AdSense, and I can't figure out how to find out that I have more than one account. And I know it's because I made sock accounts, but I don't know how to delete them.
I don't know. You almost need somebody to be able to like remote into your computer.
Right.
You know what I mean? To look. Because I wouldn't.
It's saying I have more than one AdSense account, and I don't know how to figure that out because I should be monetized by now.
Let me look at AdSense because in my opinion, the best way to do it is get them on the phone.
Yeah.
I gotta find a phone number for them. Because I should have been monetized by now.
Yeah, I'll find it. I mean, I'm looking to see if there's a number you can call because let me sign in to mine. You definitely, I don't know. I do better. If I can't figure it out, I do better with chatting one-on-one. And
yeah, me too. I don't like this email back and forth crap. I'm like, hey, what's the deal? Figure it out for me.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm going to drop down because I'm fixing to be in town and it'll be a lot of traffic and stuff. So thanks for letting me up, and I'll talk to you guys later.
Yeah, I'll talk to you later.
Okay. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you for coming up.
Yeah, Randy, thank you for saying I look better. I don't know if you're aware that I had a stroke and stuff.
Yeah.
The toast thing is kind of funny if you watched my whole video. Yesterday. I don't know if you had enough time to watch the whole thing or if you just dipped in. Of course I was drinking, and I don't take Xanax. All the shit that happened with Marissa and all the breakdown. Like, I've had a psychiatrist forever, but I've had the same doctor since 2018, and he doesn't prescribe me Xanax. Well, everything that's happened with the Marissa stuff, and just when I first went through the divorce, when we settled, I am on Xanax temporarily. And if I take all the medicine that he wants me to take, my God, I'd never wake up. So I don't mind talking about my medication. I'm supposed to take 1 milligram of Xanax twice a day and then a 0.5 milligram of Xanax for breakthrough. So I don't even take the 1 milligram Xanax. But with all the bullshit that she did to me on Friday night, coming on my stream, showing her boobs, calling 911 50 times, and the 911 operator, and then and I have proof, she blew up my phone nonstop during my stream, and I was streaming through my phone, and it kept interrupting my stream, and it was just, it kept blacking out my screen, right? And so I literally felt like I was going to have a panic attack. And so I took half a milligram of Xanax that night. Now, when I get upset, when I get really upset, my stroke symptoms come back, and I can't control it. And so what happens is my cognitive skills get off, my speech skills get off, and my motor skills get off, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so I was having a hard time anyway. And I know that you're not supposed to drink on Xanax. Well, I had already started drinking, and I took a half a milligram of Xanax. Now, was that the smartest thing to do? I didn't know how bad it was going to affect me because I don't do that.
Right.
So I think the toast thing now is pretty funny, right? I mean, shit happens. I didn't realize I was doing that, but I wasn't in my right mind. Now, was I suicidal? I'm sorry. Was I asked? No. Um, was I kind of like pretty messed up? Apparently I was, but I don't ever get like that. And so it was just too much. It was too much having the cops come out again,
Yeah.
because what had happened is 911 was supposed to call me before they sent anybody out here. And that's what happened that night. That night, 911 called me and said, "Are you okay?" And I said, "I'm fine." And it sucked because the 911 operator actually had to call her and say, "Stop calling."
Yeah.
And she didn't get her way. And so what she did is she waited for the day shift to come on and called them, and they didn't know that they were supposed to call me. And I was pissed off. And so the way, and I'm reading all these rumors that are on the internet, about, oh, the sheriff put me in this place. No, no, the sheriff doesn't put up with shit like this. And people, from what I understand, I didn't talk, the sheriff and I didn't get in it too much, but I heard that people sent the clips and everything about her harassing the 911 operator and everything. Now, when I went to talk to him, I showed him Kool-Aid's clips about what she had done and everything like that. And he's not happy. And I don't care what anybody says. He said, we can hit her with 3, possibly 4 misdemeanors, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what he said is, he's like, we're not going to go to Pennsylvania to go pick her up on misdemeanors, which makes a lot of sense. I live in Georgia.
Right.
However, he did tell me, if the bullshit continues, we're going to slap a felony on her and we will have her extradited here. Now, I have no reason to lie. Now, as for yelling at the cops, I have the coolest sheriff in the world. And I think I've sent people to the website. And I don't know if you have a computer in front of you, but I'm going to show you how cool he is. If you go to Harris County, Georgia, Sheriff Jolly, and you hit welcome signs and you hit photos, he put some really funny photos up to entrances of our town. He's a smartass and he's got a great sense of humor. And he apologized to me profusely. And he said if the calls continue, that he is going to slap a felony on her. Now, if all these people want to like blow up the sheriff's phone, they have 911. But not 911, but they have caller ID. So go for it. Go piss off Sheriff Jolly, because it's not going to hurt me. I live in a small town. He thinks it's awesome that I have a YouTube channel, and I have no reason to lie. He doesn't put up with shit. And like I said, if you Google Sheriff Jolly, Harris County, Georgia, welcome signs, and look at the photos, you'll see what a sense of humor my sheriff has. And he doesn't put up with anything. He's known me since I've moved here, since 2017. He's very active with the public because it's a small town. You'll see him at Circle K. You'll see him at coffee shops. You'll see him at Subway or at like little restaurants. He is very active in our community. So he knows who people are.
Mm-hmm.
He's engaged, and he's not happy about the situation. Now, as for the cops, about me cursing them, I was like, Sheriff Jolly, because, excuse me, I saw one of them when I was walking in the sheriff's department, and I was like, man, I'm sorry. And he's like, Michelle, we know that you were upset. Um, Also, I think it was Pugs came on my show yesterday, and if you heard it, um, maybe she was on. I think she was in Science Girls panel. She's like, I called and I spoke to one of the sheriffs that showed up, and he said, yeah, she was mad, but she was coherent. She was answering questions. She was this. She was that. And I jumped on Molly's panel afterwards to show her I wasn't crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I was so mad that I yelled at the cops. And maybe I did something like that, but I was pretty damn coherent when I talked to Molly. and I got on her panel. It was just like so what I did is I slept all day Monday and almost all night Monday. And if you saw me on your panel on my panel yesterday,
I
I was
do.
rested.
Yes.
I decided to not answer questions because I'm new and I don't know how this works. And so people were coming on my stream asking me the same questions over and over and over again. And I made this mistake to keep answering the same questions over and over and over. And it was messing up my lives. It was throwing me off topic. And they were doing it on purpose.
Oh, they were. I came into your birthday live and I said, I mean, of course, he's going to listen to me, but I said, stop it. It's her birthday. Let her have fun. I'm all for that. Yes. You, I'm glad. I'm glad that you said, obviously, the alcohol and the pills hit me. And yes, I was doing crazy stuff with the toast. Hey, Persephone, I'm glad that I mean, it takes a lot to own it. And I like that. I like that you said that instead
Well,
of, yeah.
I didn't realize it, but I also cooked a full breakfast. I cooked bacon, eggs, and hash browns, and I was coherent enough to know that I busted the yolk on my sunny side of egg.
Well,
Do you know what
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
saying?
I'm not saying that you needed a wellness check. I'm not saying that at all. But
She did it on purpose.
I believe that 100%, 100%.
If you watch Kool-Aid's thing, she's like, look at all the butter she's putting on her toast. Man, I eat healthy. Who cares if I like a lot of butter on my toast. I normally don't eat breakfast. Who cares that I put a lot of butter on my toast? And she was screaming at thing, eat, eat, eat the bacon. I mean, really? Obviously, if I cooked my breakfast, I was going to eat it. And the reason why my screen went blank is because I was on my cell phone and Flava was texting me. And so I was texting her back. And so that's why my screen kept going black. But, you know, I'm sorry. Of course I was drinking and I felt like I needed to take that. But shit, I've never drank on Xanax. And I wasn't popping pills. She said I had needles on my countertop. The first thing I did when I went to go see Sheriff Jolly, and he knows that I don't do drugs, was this. Isn't that ridiculous that I had to do this? I mean, isn't that ridiculous? There were no
Yeah.
needles on my counter. She lied and said I had a gun on my counter. Man, one time when I showed her my house, my 9mm was sitting on my counter. And I talked to Jolly about that. I was like, look, I said, I had a gun on my counter. I was like, I had armadillos in my crawl space and I had to pop them because armadillos get very, very protective of their babies. And every year they get somewhere under my house because my house is raised up. It's built on a ledge and it's 3-story. And I have my dogs in the backyard. And God forbid one of those babies went in my backyard. They're mean little suckers.
Oh, I
They're
know.
really, they're
We have
mean. And they would tear up my dogs. And I don't go around my property saying, ooh, it's an armadillo, boom. Ooh, it's an armadillo, boom. But man, if they get too close to my house with their babies, I have no choice. And people are like, remove them. Yeah, you try to catch an armadillo with babies. They're not nice.
They're not. They also carry diseases. We have a lot.
Yes, leprosy.
I live in Tennessee, so we have a lot of armadillos.
But I mean, I even told you, and look, I could have an AK-47 and ARs all over my damn house, and he wouldn't care. I can shoot on my property. I'm on 15 acres, and I'm surrounded by 125. This is not the place to say, oh my God, she has a gun. And like when I said about looking up the signs for my property, one of them says, we have 365 cemeteries and 1 jail. If you shoot at our citizens, chances are they're going to shoot back. Welcome to Harris County. Have a nice day. That's an entry sign for my property. Do you think that man would have a problem that my gun was sitting on my counter? No. And so, I mean, when she called 911, she was like, she has a gun in the house. Her baby died. My child passed away February 11th of 2004. She has a son in jail. My son has been addicted to heroin for 7 years. He's gone to jail so many times. He doesn't have a rap sheet. He has a book, right?
Well,
I'm going through a horrible.
I don't, look, I've talked about this in past lives. I don't like what you said about your son, but it's your son. You have a right to say what you, um, but,
I heard
um,
your live. Now
okay,
I talk to my son once a week.
mm,
I've sent him a pencil. I've sent him 2 pencils, a writing pad, stamps, and an envelope. At this point, and I explained it on Molly's. At this point, he doesn't deserve anything else in jail. Now I take his collect calls once a week and I speak to him, but I don't know if you know all the things that he's done.
yes.
And
I don't know
I
everything he's done, but I've heard you say, well, how would you feel if you were the victim's mom? Well, but I'm not, the thing is I understand exactly what you're saying. I do. But that's at the end, that's your child, and and yeah, you have to be careful what you share, by the way, on here. But
put out these drug everything up on me.
as long as but right now I'll say this, my daughter is doing great. So I don't want to,
Awesome.
anybody to say that, she's not. But, you know, sometimes, I mean, sadly, rock bottom is death. And as long as they have a breath in their body, they have a chance to get clean. And I implore you to please go to some Al-Anon meetings, because I swear to God they'll help. My friend, I won't give her name, but she has to go, and it's really helped her a great deal, because her son, he's in jail right now, and we've been friends since we were 8 years old, and the struggle, I know what you've been, I know how hard it is, but it's so hard to separate. And I'm not. You've heard me say this, I guess, if you listen to my life.
I
Separate
listen to you
somehow.
live.
Yeah, you have to somehow separate the disease from the person, and it's almost impossible. But
He
just know that they want to get high more than they want your love in that moment.
it's I understand where you're coming from. I have a lot of friends that were in active addiction and they've done like kind of bad things, right? And they've been sober for 4 or 5 years and they're awesome people and it was the drugs. With my son, and I just feel like I have to say this, Randy, he's been on the streets for 7 years and he has lost his soul. Sometimes people just have turned so evil and ugly that they just don't have a soul anymore. You know, do you think that Charles Manson could be rehabbed? And I don't mean to compare my son to that, but he has killed people maliciously.
Well,
He
but
has,
I think your son, I don't know his
he
mental
doesn't,
condition, but Charles Manson was mentally unwell, and your
my
son
son is mentally unwell now. The
did
drugs have got to him so bad that he's mentally unwell now. All he knows is the street life. All he knows is the thug life. All he knows is shoot, kill, steal, harm, manipulate. That's all he knows now because he's been on the streets for so long. It's not like he lived in my home, got addicted, and I put him out.
right.
He is he it is very hard to love him. I do, but some of the awful, heinous crimes that he's done to people are almost unforgivable because of the things he's done. He's
Mm,
not just addicted to drugs, Randy. I don't think that he could ever come back the same person. I think some people, and he is my son, but I think that some people just can't come back because they've become so evil. I'm sorry. I know people that have been in active addiction, but the awful things he's done to people because of his addiction, he has changed into a person that I don't think he can come back and be a productive member of society, even if he got sober. He's got a gang mentality. He thinks like a gang member. He thinks he's invincible and he thinks he can do whatever he wants. And I don't think that mindset will ever change. Not even with years of therapy. I just don't think that will change.
Do you,
I
when you said you talk to him once a week, you don't see and you don't hear any change in him when you speak once a week?
no remorse whatsoever. None. None. He has no remorse for the things he's done. None. He has no remorse.
Is he
He's
medicated?
yeah, yeah.
Mm.
And he has no remorse. He shot somebody in the back. Everything's an excuse with him. So um the guy and I look, I will talk about everything and I'm honest on my show. You
Mm.
know, he pistol whipped somebody in the face 5 times, pulled a gun on the guy, pistol whipped him in the face 5 times, stole the guy's bike, stole his sweatshirt, stole his cell phone. Do you know what his excuse is? Well, mom, the guy stole my bike. No, it wasn't his bike. So it's not like, I'm sorry, mom, I did this. Well, mom, the guy stole my bike. That's his excuse. It's never his fault. Nothing's ever his fault. Every single thing that he does, every single thing he does, it's always someone else's fault. He takes no responsibility for his actions, nothing. The guy that he shot in the back 5 times. Well, mom, he was on my corner dealing drugs. No remorse. None. The guy was on my corner dealing drugs. None. No remorse for anything that he's done. And that is not just an addiction. That is turning into a monster. And I do I love him? Am I glad that I'm not burying another child? Yes. But the drugs have messed his brain up. He doesn't think like a rational human being. He has no remorse for anything. And
Mm.
Randy, sometimes people get like that. I don't want him dead. I love him, but he has been on drugs for 7 years and his brain is just gone. There's no remorse. There's no remorse. In the very beginning, I spent over hundreds of thousands of dollars on his treatment. I have done everything I could. But when you have no remorse for the things you do, then what is the next step? And I'm asking you as a parent, what do you do when your child has absolutely no remorse for what they do?
Mm. Oh, I don't know. I don't. Obviously, I don't have an answer for that. Hearing
I
you
mean,
explain it like that is different. And Soulshine said it. She said honestly, she's damned if she does and damned if she doesn't. If you support him after these crimes, people will talk, and if she doesn't, they will talk. Yeah.
he has no remorse, none. You
Mm.
know, I mean, and what about, and if I support him, what about the victims' families? I mean, I have to see these people and not
Mm.
see them, but I have to deal with them. I have to think that the guy he shot in the back, he paralyzed that man. Now the guy is dead now. The guy was a drug dealer. The guy was shot like 5 times before my son shot him. My son shot the man and he paralyzed him. But in my head at that time, I was like, well, what if this guy doesn't want to be a drug dealer anymore? This man is paralyzed for the rest of my life, and my son did this. I got my son off of those charges, right? Do you know my son bragged about it? Yeah, I shot that guy 5 times in the back and I got off on that shit. Really? Where's the remorse there? Because that man might have wanted to stop dealing drugs, and my son put him in a wheelchair for the rest of his life. Now the guy's dead now because another drug dealer shot and killed him. But what if that guy wanted to change his life and my kid bragged about that? I mean, that's not remorse. That's like, I don't give a shit about anything. Every time I've supported him in jail, I put money in his books. I put money on his books. I put money on his books. And every time he got out of jail, it was like, fuck you, mom. I'm a fucking adult. I don't need you. But who's the first person he called when he gets locked up? Me. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. I do know. Not that I'm not. I can't say that that's happened to me, but it's happened to my friend. Um, and we have sat and held each other. I've held her while she's cried because he'll do good and then he won't.
But
And
he has no remorse anymore.
well, yeah, her son doesn't seem to. Well, he look. I think her son has always like even when he was small, he was different.
Oh,
And I
when he
don't.
was small, he was such an angel. He never gave me any problems. I never had to spank him. He was the sweetest child. He was like grown beyond his years, but he's not that person anymore. So
No, I get it. That no, I'm just saying he was he was good. I kept him for a long time when he was little, but he was a good kid, but he was always different, if you know what I mean. Just always looking for that extra attention, good or bad. Um, so and even now, like when I see him get out of something, he'll do good for a while. He'll go to sober living, and then he backpedals, and it kills her. It absolutely kills her. Um, but also, you we have to try to remember that they didn't choose. I know people think differently, but no one chooses to be an addict. So everyone is under an illusion that if you do heroin one time, you're addicted. No, if you have an addict's brain, you may crave it and then you become addicted. But they're an addict. It's been proven that the brain is different, and but it sounds like honestly he's got more issues than just being an addict. And that's just my opinion.
he
And I say,
does.
yeah,
He
I say
does.
that, yeah.
I've had him in therapy. So I lost a child, right?
Mhm.
And Joe was 8 when that happened. And around that time is when he started having issues. So I've had him in counseling forever, forever. And I've had so many counselors that have fired him because it was like, Joseph, why do you do this? I don't know. Joseph, why do you do this? I don't know. I've had so many counselors fire him because they're like, you're wasting your mom's money. You're wasting her time. I've put him in mental institutions, 30-day treatment programs. He doesn't want to participate. I've done everything I could for this kid, everything I could. So I put him in military boarding school and he thrived. He thrived there. And as soon as he got out of military boarding school, because I skipped my grade, he went from seventh to a freshman. He started ULL with a full scholarship for aeronautical engineering. Joseph has never given a shit about anything, nothing, nothing. And I mean, what was I supposed to do? Go to college and handcuff myself to him? You know, they
No.
have, and I couldn't. And so he's never given a shit about anything, about anyone. You know, he beat the living shit out of me in my home when he was 20. He decided to drop that microdot acid, and both of my eyes were swollen to where I couldn't see. Like, have you seen like a boxing match to where when they get hit, their eyes completely swollen and closed?
Mhm.
Both of my eyes were like that. And I was like, the next morning, I'm like, look what you did to me. You punched me. You beat the shit. No, I didn't do that. I might have elbowed you. Joseph, it's time that you have to move out the house because if I can't sleep at 3 in the morning, you can't live here. Because if I don't feel safe in my bed, boom, heroin. There has been nothing I could do to help this child.
Mhm.
Nothing. We've seen the best doctors. He's been on medicine. Something is always been wrong with him. But he was the sweetest kid when he grew up, and I can't take responsibility for that. I've done everything I can to help him, and he's just manipulated people his whole life. And then when he got on the heroin, he has no remorse. He has no soul. He has nothing. I can't take responsibility because I've done everything I can. Everything,
Me too, baby.
everything.
Yeah,
I've I've done everything, and it sucks because some people are just wired different, and
absolutely.
it's not my fault. It's not my fault. But now he's literally turned into a cold-blooded killer because I know the rumors on the streets. I have people watch him, and I know that he has murdered people and got away with it. I know that he has. And so the addiction is just part of his problem.
Mhm.
But you know, his father, his biological father, I think he's gotten mental issues from his biological father. His biological father had a heart attack and died about like in August, but his biological father wasn't right. We split up when Joseph was 8 years old,
Mhm.
and his biological father was adopted. So I will never know his biological father's issues because he was taken
Oh,
away. Huh?
oh, that.
His biological father was taken away from his parents and he was adopted when he was an infant. So I will never know my son's background for mental history. I'll never know. I'll
Oh,
never know. So I don't know if maybe Joseph's grandparents were psycho. Like, I'll never know that.
right.
Maybe it's something hereditary in him. I mean, my family is, they're Italian and Greek, so I say they're crazy, but they're not like crazy, crazy. They just fight all the time. But I don't even know what his history is on his paternal grandparent side.
Oh, I definitely think it's got something to do. And you said you lost your other son, and he was 8. See, my first husband, he died when my kids were my youngest two. I mean, my oldest two were with my first husband, and he died when she was 8 as well. And that seemed like, and my son was 6, and it seemed like it changed both their lives. No matter what, it affected them. They had to bury their dad, and he was an addict, and that's what killed him. I really thought that would mold her life, but it 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 did, but not in a way that I thought it would. And um so I know, I mean, I see exactly, but I see his family. But I mean, addiction runs through my family, it runs through his family. It's like I mean, it just sucks. It just sucks. And all we can do is love them. And sometimes, and I know I guess you heard me say this. We used to go to schools, and I haven't done it in a while, and speak with the kids at school, try to get them young.
With
And
addiction.
mhm. and and I spoke of of a parent that's been through addiction and came out on the other side of it. And then I spoke with parents that lost kids to addiction. And parent, she coddled, and she said if my son was going to die, he was going to die at my house. And then I spoke with another parent who did the tough love, and wouldn't have, put him out, made him do it on his own. They both had the same result. They both buried their kids. So there is no right answer. And that's what I tell people
I listen
all
to
the
your
time.
life.
Yeah. When they come to me and they say, "What do I do?" I say, "I don't know," because there is no right answer. You you can love somebody to death, and but then I think that when you push them out, you're going to forever feel that guilt of pushing them out. So you don't know what to do.
It has more than the addiction. I think it's the mental. And I think that's why he was on the drugs and that's how he got addicted. But I don't know when the addiction started. I don't know how it did it. And it really pisses me off when people are like, oh, she was doing heroin with her son. She was doing this. She was doing drugs. That is horseshit. I don't even know what
Right.
heroin looks like. I don't know what meth looks like. I've never done any of those drugs. I smoked pot and I don't even do that anymore. I haven't smoked pot probably in like 4 or 5 months. When I was at LSU, I tried cocaine. You know, I was 20 but it wasn't like it is now. I've touched my nose all the time, right? My nose itches because of allergies. I'm not putting anything in my nose. The bullshit about me snorting Xanax, no. I might take one Xanax every 3 or 4 days, and it's not even a milligram, it's like half a milligram. And that's when I
You
get
have
anxious.
that's nobody. Honestly, that is absolutely no one's business on here what you take.
Well, I know that.
And
But I'm
yeah,
getting accused of all of this stuff, and I feel like I have to justify my shit. And that's even
yeah.
bullshit.
Oh, that I promise you. After you've been here a while, you'll quit justifying anything.
I know, it's just, I think it's all the bullying and bullshit that Molly put me through and all her subs that I feel like I have to justify everything. And I'm done with that shit too.
Yeah, don't justify anything else. Forget Molly exists. I try to.
Well, I am.
Yeah.
She's like, I'll never talk about Michelle anymore. She's been through so much, blah, blah, blah. 10 minutes later.
Hmm. She doesn't
10
care
minutes
what
later
anyone else
talking
has
about
been
me.
through. She doesn't
Huh?
care because she doesn't care what anybody else has been through. When I had you on my panel before, and I said, I have 3 kids and they've all been through stuff. I didn't
I
mean they've
heard.
all been on drugs.
I heard.
Yeah, Randy's raised 3 addicts, and I mean that's not my. I have 3 kids, and they're so different from one another. It's yeah, it's just
I knew what you meant. I knew what you meant. But of course, I heard her. I heard her on panel. All 3 of your kids are drug addicts, and I heard it. You know, I'm just going to try to stop. I mean, I say I'm not going to talk about her anymore. It's not that I'm not going to discuss her anymore, but I'm going to try to stop talking shit about her anymore. I might say something ugly about her, but it's not going to be cutting her into the ground. No more parodies. Because
yeah,
another thing I did, and I'm so sick of being called a liar, but she's going to find out the hard way. I did 2 things yesterday. I went to the sheriff in my town, and I spoke to a detective that I spoke to before. At It's not the Hershey Police Department; it's the Township Police Department, so that she knows I'm not lying. And the shit she did to me, basically, he said, "Michelle, you've done shit to her," and I'm like, "No, I haven't done anything." And he's like, "Well, you just told me that you've been doing parodies on her." I'm like, "My channel's been up for 2 weeks. I'm fighting back." And he said, "Well, if I go after her, for harassment, I'm probably going to have to go after you." And I'm like, "What are you talking about? I'm doing satire parodies." And he said, "Well, she can consider that harassment." And he said, "What you need to do is you need to stop doing your parodies on her." And he said, "Completely stop it." And he said, "Because she could say that's harassment." And he said, "So I can go after her because she called so many times. She's done everything." And so he said, "So I can go after her. You got enough things to go after her. But I will put a warrant out. I will go arrest her for all the shit she did. But in turn, she could possibly come back." And I'm like, "Hey, no problem. Put a warrant out on me. Put a warrant out on me. Because if we go in front of a judge and the judge looks at everything she's been doing and my 5 little parodies I've done on her, I'll go in front of a judge for that." And he said, "Do you really want to do that?" I'm like, "Yeah, because you're going to have to get a warrant to come after me, all the way in Georgia, and she's right there." And I said, "I tell you what, I'm going to stop my parodies and I'm going to let her continue her bullshit." And he said,
yeah,
"Okay, do that." He said, "Okay, do that. You stop doing anything against her. And if she continues to do the things against you, then we'll go get her." And so that's why I'm not doing them anymore. Now, if she continues and she's like, "I'm not in trouble, I'm not," well, okay, you're going to find out.
right,
Keep it up. Keep my name out of your mouth. Stop talking shit about me. Stop harassing me. And if you don't, then you're going to find out. Because apparently, what she did, people were sending videos and everything into the town. There were lots of people that called the Township Police Department and sent videos after what she did to me this weekend. And he's aware. And she says that he's not aware. He's aware. And so, no more parodies, no more harassing her. I'm allowed to discuss her, but I'm going to try not to. Um, but if she keeps it up, yeah, she's going to get some misdemeanor slapped against her.
yeah. And it's going to be hard for you to not talk about her, but try not to. I think you've got a lot to talk about, and just be careful. Which I got to get off of here because I got to
I
clean
do
my
too.
hair.
I got to go sign my divorce papers in a little while.
Oh yeah, good. Oh well, I will be
I'm good.
praying for. I know. I
I'm
watched your
good.
video, and make sure you rest, and just remember, people want to hear from you. People like you, and they don't need to hear about. They don't need to be, hear about Molly. Molly will always shows herself. She does,
She's
and
coming down, I think. I think she's got enough people that are sick of her now.
oh, it's happened before. We've seen her go up and down, up and down. So
What are your thoughts about it?
about her going up and down.
No, about her finally losing her channel because of all the shit she's done.
Mm,
Vinny's helping me.
I don't know. I don't like to see anybody lose their channel because if I lost mine, I would freaking die. So I don't know. I honestly, I wish she would just stop. I wish she would just quit tragedy pimping. I wish they all would.
I don't like that at all.
No, I don't either. It started a huge hate mob against people. They always start a huge hate mob against people that absolutely don't deserve it.
Yeah. Thank you for having me on your panel. And
Thank you for coming in.
if you heard me talking about my divorce, we have been separated since May 9th of 2021, right? I'm okay. We haven't lived together. We've lived in a different state. We talk, we're amenable. We settled out of court. I gave him the proposal that I wanted. I was
Hmm.
like, this is what I want. And he said, okay. And he signed it. So, I haven't been with him in a while. I guess it's going to sting. I guess when I put my name on the papers and finalize it, it's going to hurt. But
Hmm.
we haven't been together in almost a year and a half, or actually, we haven't in a year and a half. So, I mean, yeah, it's going to end, but I'm okay, if that makes any sense. I mean, it's ending a chapter, but the chapter has pretty much been closed. Like, the book has been like this, it's just doing this. You know, he's been paying alimony. Well, I call it my allowance. Now, as soon as it's on the papers, it's going to be alimony. But I discussed what we're doing with the divorce, and I wanted this. I think we came to a very fair agreement. Nothing's changing. He's still paying everything. He's been paying all the bills for the house. He's been paying everything, and nothing's changing. He's doing everything that he's been doing, and there's just going to be an end date to it. So nothing's changing,
Yeah.
you know? But anyway, thank you for
Well,
having me up. I'm glad I got to explain the little toast thing. I was going to
I am
frame that.
too.
I was going to frame that piece of toast, and Jake ate it.
Well, no, I'm glad that you owned it, and I'm glad that I'm just glad that you're getting rest and you're going to do your channel, and it's not going to be a Molly hate because there's plenty of them, and
Yeah.
because people like you, you're likable, you've got a good personality,
Thank you.
and I'm
So do
glad
you.
that we thank you, and I'm really really glad that we spoke about your son because I have more of an understanding now. I have a much more of an understanding.
Yeah, I wanted to talk to you about that because you were like, I can't believe she's talking about her son like that. Man, like, when I found out what he did this past time, because he's done a lot and I've known about the things, but when I heard about this guy was just taking a bike ride, he was just riding his bike, getting some fresh air, and my kid did that to him. And he's got another charge on him where he had an armed robbery at another guy that works at a convenience store, and he did the same thing. He pistol whipped that guy. I mean, what if it was you or a kid that was just working at a cashier at a mom and pop store, and you got pistol whipped in the face too? And I think my son got about $75 from him.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
you can't do things like that, and you just can't. He's looking at 10 to 99 years, and he's a convicted felon, and they caught him with a gun. So he's looking at 10 to 99 on 3 different charges. It's not like I can go bail him out of jail.
No, I
I
don't I
can't.
don't think he needs bailed out. I just but
Well, I
just
can't.
right, right. No, but I just let him know because I know no matter what we love our kids. No matter what.
I
So
do love him, but
yeah, I know.
I don't love the actions that he's done. I can't forgive him for the things he's done to innocent people.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Because
Absolutely.
I think about the victims. He's victimized too many people. You should see what that guy's face looks like. He's got stitches from his forehead all the way down to the side of his face.
Mm.
That guy's never going to be the same. I bet he never rides a bike at night again.
Oh,
You got to think about the victims.
right.
But anyway, I know that you said you were going to jump down. I'm glad that you
Yeah.
let me get up, explain
Well,
about how I feel about my son. And yeah, if I fuck up, I'm going to own it. I will own my shit every time. Every time I will own my things.
Same. Same. Okay. Well, you have a good day, or try to have a good day, and just rest.
I have been. I'm going to
Okay.
come on tonight and cook. I'm going to sign my papers in Columbus. I'm going grocery shopping, and then I'll be on tonight and cook, and that's about it.
Yeah, I don't eat
Okay.
I don't eat any kind of seafood. I don't eat, but I'm waiting on them cabbage rolls.
Okay. I'll do this soon.
All
But
right.
anyway, thank you so much, Randy.
Thank
Really,
you.
thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye bye, honey.
Bye. All right, y'all. I'm gonna go to. I thought this was a productive stream. I think Simon, it's so good to see you. Happy Hump Day. Um, I needed to. I really think that I needed to hear her point of view, and I get it. I get it. Yeah, this turned into something. I'm sorry, Holden. I've got to get my house cleaned up. Um, it's all right, Rosebud. Um, yeah, it was a good stream. I really needed. It's not about me, but I needed to hear that. Yeah, Michelle is great when she's had sleep, and I think she learned a hard lesson. But we all have been in situations on here where we've sucked, So I wonder what the topic is going to be if the catfish in the green dress goes to prison. Lots of channels will go corrupt. I don't disagree, Frenchie. I don't disagree. I agree with what you're saying. Absolutely. Y'all, y'all so much for being here, and you too, Becky B. Everybody here, have a blessed day, and I'll be back soon. Bye, y'all.